Alright, so I decided to split the New Zealand Operational Ration Pack, or ORP, 24-hour ration into 3 meals. Actually, there's a lot of food in here. With the breakfast not even in there, there's still a lot left. But I basically took what seemed like it would be good stuff for breakfast, and there wasn't a ton of it. So we're going to have a kind of a smallish breakfast and a couple large meals after that. Obviously I went with the muesli as the, what you call the main dish for the breakfast. And I kind of thought this was just plain muesli, but looking at the ingredients, I see it does have, in addition to rolled oats and whole milk powder, so it'll be milky at least even though you're just adding water. It does have pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, dried pineapple, dried papaya, and sultanas, so this should be pretty good. I also took the Muesli Bars. These seem like, I mean, these could be for anything, but they seem like they'd make a good breakfast bar kind of a thing. And since they're on the small side, I took both of them out. The strawberry fruit grains. This could be a snack for any time, but I figured, you know, a fruit would be good for breakfast. And I also didn't know exactly what these are like. Might be little dried fruits or something else, but I thought if the muesli was too plain, maybe I could put some of that in there. I also get one of the chocolate drinks, one of the two. A tea bag and an instant coffee, each with a sugar. And for anything that needs it, I have the sweetened condensed milk. I'm assuming that's going to go in the tea and the coffee, but I don't know, I suppose if the muesli is really bland, I could even put some in there. Let's go ahead and make up the muesli. Since there were no utensils in the ORP, I'm going to just use an MRE spoon. It says to empty contents into a serving dish or a blend and packet. So you could just mix it up in here with cold water to achieve desired consistency. So it doesn't give you a specific amount of water to put in it. Just whatever you think it needs. It smells very bland. It smells just like dried oats, dried muesli. But you can see there's some other stuff in there. Pumpkin seed here, sunflower seeds, some kind of dried fruit here, and the milk powder. Yeah, a little bit of water in here. Not really sure how much I want to add, if I want it to be really soupy or not. This is to add to desired consistency, and I don't exactly know what consistency I want with this. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, so this meal is going to be pretty heavy on the drinks. We're going to have coffee, tea, and chocolate drink. But there are a few non-drink things in here. We have a Muesli Bar. Kind of looks like a very tough Fig Newton. It's kind of on the large size. But for a bar, it's also kind of short, too. I'm not sure. Apple, sultana, and berry. So it's got a kind of a mixture in there. And it does smell... It smells a lot like a Fig Newton. It smells like what I would expect figs to smell like, but we'll see what that's like. And we have the strawberry fruit grains. And these are like little dried bits of strawberry. It smells good. Now for the coffee and tea, I do have the luxury of having hot water. Put that in here. We need our tea bag. Just in a commercial packaging inside of that. Porter's Premium Classic Blend. Huh, this tea is specially blended for the New Zealand palate. Yeah, that may have been too hot in the water. And I do have the sugar, but because we have the sweetened condensed milk, I want to try the coffee and the tea with that first before adding the sugar. Since we already have 2 hot drinks, I'm going to go ahead and have the chocolate drink cold. Well, this is the serving size is 250 milliliters. That's going to be about almost 8.5 ounces. And obviously, yes, this could be a hot drink. And the only thing I haven't done is add the sweetened condensed milk. It's one of these caps that you just poke a hole right in here. Let's see what this is like. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's more. Got a whole tube, right? I'll go ahead and try some of this stuff out. Let me see how this coffee is. I'm not a coffee drinker, so unfortunately I'm not really a good judge at instant coffee, but I think, you know, everybody knows what to expect from instant coffee, and it's pretty much what you get. And I think I am going to go ahead and add some sugar. I'm sure it was just fine. Let's check out this muesli. Not too bad. It does use powdered milk, so not surprisingly, it has kind of a powdery sort of taste to it. And it's just like a plain oat sort of a taste, nothing very exciting, but pretty good though. The nuts and the dried fruits help. There isn't really a lot of like sugar or any other kind of flavors added, so it's nothing exciting, but it does the trick. You can see the some of the seeds in there. It's not bad. Let's try the tea by itself. I'm also not much of a tea drinker either. So let's add some of this. Sweeten it up a bit. I can't tell too much of a difference, so I'm going to put sugar on that one too. Which, like I said, me not being a tea or coffee drinker, this is something I normally would have automatically done if I was in a position where I had to drink tea or coffee. Put in as much sweetener as I can. But for the sake of trying this stuff out, I wanted to see what it was like. Try these strawberry fruit grains. Those are good. They had some nice sweetness to the meal. Pretty much what you'd expect from like a sweetened fruit roll-up kind of a thing. Like a candied fruit. It's good. And the last thing for our breakfast is the Muesli Bar. Which is fine. It's not overly sweet. And the other part is it's pretty bland. But the fruit filling is interesting with the apple, sultana, and berry. Pretty hearty. Kind of dry. And a little of the chocolate drink. I think I added too much water. I think I might go for about 6 ounces in that instead of almost 8. Tastes alright, but a little bit watered down. So that's what I chose to have for my New Zealand ORP 24-hour ration breakfast. Finish off with a little moist towelette to clean up, and then like I said, I went pretty heavy with the beverages. I had the 3, but they seem pretty appropriate for breakfast. Coffee, tea, and cocoa. There didn't really seem to be a lot of foods that made a lot of sense. As was the crackers with either the cheese spread or whatever was in that can, or some of the Vegemite or Marmite would have been fine too. But I kind of wanted to save that yeast extract for later. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you for lunch. I was getting ready to finish this up off camera, and it occurred to me that the muesli, I was complaining about being kind of bland, and I have this whole tube of sweetened condensed milk. I'm going to use a little bit of that on there. I do have sugar I could put on there too, but since we got this, might as well use it. That's why it's in there, right? Much better. Adds a good amount of sweetness.